Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a good day. My name is Mo, and welcome to ReachUp's UK personal statement writing workshop. So today we're going to talk about, for those of you interested in applying to universities in the UK, how to write a good personal statement as part of the UCAS process. And I'll spend some time going over a few different topics so that you feel comfortable writing a very good personal statement and getting into the university of your choice. We'll spend a couple of minutes with a brief introduction. I'll walk you guys through a little bit around what personal statements are aiming to do and what they're all about. Then we'll get into the structuring of a personal statement. And then we'll go into how to write a good outline for a personal statement, and then how to go from from an outline to a full and effective personal statement. And then we'll wrap up the entire discussion with a few final tips based on my experiences working with students applying to the UK. ReachUp is a global education platform started by alumni of Stanford University, and we help get students admitted to their top universities. And the way we do provide that help is through essay reviews, through resume reviews, and through workshops just like these to help you guys with things like personal statements and resumes. And finally, we're also a global network of university students and alumni in case you want to connect with people who are studying at a certain university or a certain or studying a certain course that you're interested in. So you can check us out at reachup.net at any time. Let's spend some time talking about personal statements and what they're all about. So when it comes to the UK application process, the personal statement is really about what you want to study in university and why. The UCAS website itself says, and I quote, "A personal statement supports your application to study at a university or college. It's a chance for you to articulate why you'd like to study a particular course or subject and what skills and experiences you possess that show your passion for your chosen field." So it's really about telling you as an applicant, telling the university and the admissions officers what you want to study at their university and why, with a demonstration of how your skills and experience demonstrate your passion for that. So ultimately, they want to know who you are, what matters to you, what makes you unique, and can you communicate your ideas effectively in a personal statement. There are a few elements of the personal statement. There's the first element is around the course that you're expressing interest in. The second one is around your skills and achievements that demonstrate your interest in that course. And the third one is related to your work experience and future plans and how those relate to what you want to study in university. And there are a few different questions here to consider as you're writing your personal statement. You won't be able to answer all of these questions in a personal statement, but you need to be answering a few of them. So, why are you applying to this course? Why does this subject interest you? Why do you think you're suitable for the course? And how do your studies relate to the course? Your studies being your high school studies. And have you taken part in other activities apart from academia that show your interest in this subject? On skills and achievements, what skills and achievements do you have that will prepare you for the course or for university life in general? Do these skills and achievements demonstrate an interest in the course? And how do they make you unique? And on work experience and future plans, it's really all about either talking about the work experience you may have that show an interest in the course and how it prepares you for university life, or how the course you want to study will prepare you for what you want to do after university. Again, you won't be able to answer all of these questions in a personal statement, but you need to answer some of them and notice how everything ties back, whether it's about the course itself or the skills and achievements or the work experience or the future plans. They all tie back to your interest and passion for what you want to study in university. If you're an international student, there's another element that you need to touch upon in your personal statement, and it's why you want to study in the UK. You don't have to write too much on this subject, but you need to somehow mention it. Um, Do you want to study in the UK for cultural reasons? Are there things that interest you in the UK that you'd like to learn about? Do you want to end up living in the UK for a specific reason? Is the subject that you're interested in studying an area of focus for a UK university? Um, why do you want to be an international student rather than just study in your own country? So you also want to think about how not just how studying in the UK will benefit you, but also how you can benefit the student population you'll be around as an international student, bringing a different perspective. Let's talk about structuring. So the first and most important thing that we'll talk about today, and if there's one thing you need to remember, is what the thesis is. Your thesis in your personal statement is the main argument that you're making. It's the heartbeat of your personal statement. It's one clear sentence. It directly answers what you want to study and why, and it serves as the focus of the rest of the personal statement. Every other letter, word, and sentence in the personal statement has one purpose in life, and that is to support your thesis. So, really, what we're talking about here is the heartbeat of your entire personal statement that you'll be submitting to universities. And it should answer directly what you want to study and why. And that, the rest of the essay, the essay or the personal statement structure all revolves around the thesis. So when we think about a typical well-structured personal statement, there's the introductory paragraph, there's a set of supporting paragraphs, and then there's a closing paragraph. The way I like to kick off the introductory paragraph is with a setup, which is 2 to 3 sentences that introduce your personal statement. It could be a relevant short story, it could be a brief statement about why you're excited about the course of study, but it's just sort of something to get the reader, the admissions officer, interested in what you're about to talk about. And then you're going to hit them with the thesis. And that I make as the last sentence of the first the introductory paragraph. Again, one sentence which summarizes the main argument of your personal statement, what you want to study, and why. And as I said, it should be the last sentence of the introductory paragraph. That way it's clear and it's to the point. You may have 2, 3, 4 supporting paragraphs depending on how you want to structure your personal statement. But each supporting paragraph starts with a topic sentence. And that topic sentence is basically the main point of the supporting paragraph. And it's also a sentence that supports your thesis. So it has 2 roles. One, it supports your thesis. It's one of the sub-arguments to your thesis. And 2, it summarizes and it basically tells the reader what the rest of this paragraph is going to be about. And after the topic sentence, you're going to have, let's say, around 4 to 6 sentences that support the paragraph's topic sentence. And it's providing details, examples, experiences. It's going into the kinds of details that people want to read to understand what your topic sentence is about and what your thesis is about. So this is where you start to go into detail. Okay. But always try to tie it back to the implications of the details, how it ties back to you, how it ties back to your interest in the course you want to study in university. Once you're done with your supporting paragraphs, you'll wrap up the personal statement with a closing paragraph, which should be short. It could even be 2 sentences long. You start off the closing paragraph with a brief restatement of your personal statement and what the arguments you've been making, maybe reflecting on the implications of what you've talked about. And then you wrap up the entire personal statement with 1 to 2 sentences closing off the personal statement. Typically, it could be a forward-looking sentence thinking about the implications of what the personal statement means for you going forward, and how it summarizes your aspirations. I'm sharing here what I call the Stutter personal statement, and this is an applicant who wants to study writing in university, and is going to spend this personal statement talking about why he's passionate about the subject and how he's passionate about the subject, and why he wants to study writing in university in order to become an author after university. So I would, if I were you, I would spend a couple of minutes, and feel free to pause the video, but spend a couple of minutes reading through this personal statement, and then we're going to deconstruct it together. Let's look at the structure of the Stutter personal statement. So the introductory paragraph starts off with a setup in which the writer, who's the applicant, says, I fell in love with writing at the age of 12 after I developed a persistent stutter that took years to overcome. During that time, writing served as my refuge, allowing me to communicate with the world without being judged for my perceived flaw. So the applicant is telling us just a quick short story about why he fell in love with writing. And then he hits us with the thesis. I'm applying to study writing in university because I am passionate about the subject and wish to contribute to society as an author. It's straight, plain language, directly answers the question of what you want to study in university and why. He says he wants to study writing, he's passionate about the subject, and he wants to use that as a way to become an author in the future. We won't go through all the body paragraphs of this Stutter personal statement, but let's look through the second one. The purpose of this body paragraph is for the applicant to demonstrate how his academics reveal his passion and suitability to study writing in university. He talks about, and the topic sentence is, because of this personal experience, being the stutter that he developed, I've dedicated my academic coursework to writing. So now as a reader, I know that the rest of this paragraph is going to be focused on how the applicant's academic achievements and history show his passion for writing. And the applicant here talks about, the fact that he's doing higher level English as part of his IB diploma program, how he's enjoyed that class, how he's scored among the top 10% of his class, and that he's won his school's fiction writing award twice, how he's serving as a tutor for students who are learning English as a second language, so on and so forth. But you can see that he's basically telling the university, look, not only am I telling you I want to study writing in university and that I'm passionate about it, I've also demonstrated it through my academic coursework and achievements. In the closing paragraph, the applicant just restates and says that developing the stutter that he developed changed everything, but losing it changed nothing. Meaning that because he developed his stutter, he fell in love with writing. But once he overcame the stutter, he was still in love with writing. And then he closes off the entire personal statement by saying, I'm as passionate about writing today as I ever was. And I bring this passion to your university, your writing program, and eventually to society as a whole. So it's kind of a forward-looking statement. You should spend 15 to 20 minutes now trying to write your thesis. Again, decide which university course you wish to pursue, whether it's mathematics or history or economics or English or writing. And I want you to write one sentence, which is the thesis. And I want you to answer why, what you want to study and why you want to study this course in university. Don't try to put too much detail. Just be direct and to the point. And afterwards, we will go on to outlining, which will include this thesis. So just spend the next 15 to 20 minutes thinking about what you want to write as your thesis. We've talked about structuring and what a good personal statement structure looks like. Let's go into outlining now. The way I think about the outline of your personal statement is that it's pretty much the roadmap, okay, for the personal statement. It's the plan before the execution, the plan before the writing. It's kind of like when you get into a car, if you have maps, for example, Google Maps open, and you know where you want to go, and you know how you're going to get there, versus getting into your car and just driving around randomly, hoping to get to where you want to get to. The outline includes a few different components. It's essentially going to be 4 or 5 sentences, and that's it, because it's just an outline. It starts off with the thesis, which again is the one sentence which explains what you want to study in university and why. And then it's going to include the topic sentence for each of the body paragraphs that you want to write. And the first body paragraph will have a topic sentence that should describe your passion for the course and your understanding of it. Why are you passionate about what you want to study? What do you understand about this subject? Tell me more about how you developed a passion. Your second body paragraph will start off with a topic sentence that describes how your academics make you suitable for the course, just as we saw earlier in the Stutter personal statement. The third body paragraph will start off with a topic sentence that describes how your extracurriculars or work experience make you suitable for the course and how they prepare you for life in university. And finally, your last body paragraph should talk about how you'll contribute to the advancement of the university and its student body, meaning what are you going to contribute to the student population around you? And this is for international students. This is where you can also cover why you want to study in the UK and how it's going to benefit the students in your population. Let's go back to the Stutter personal statement and let's break it down and look at what the outline looks like. What you see in white is the actual outline of the personal statement. And what you see in yellow is sort of what each of these sentences are actually saying. So again, the thesis was, I'm applying to study writing in university because I'm passionate about the subject and wish to contribute to society as an author. What the applicant is telling the university here is, hey, I'm passionate and well-suited to study writing at your university, and it matches with my career aspirations. The first topic sentence is, I had always been an avid reader as a child. I was extroverted in nature, befriending everybody at school. And here the applicant is essentially saying, let me tell you the story about how I fell in love with writing. The second topic sentence is, because of this personal experience, I have dedicated my academic coursework to writing. And again, what the applicant's telling the university here is, my academics demonstrate my passion and aptitude for writing. The third topic sentence is, writing has also been the central theme of my extracurricular activities. And here the applicant's saying that my extracurricular activities demonstrate my leadership and passion for writing. And finally, the last topic sentence says, studying in university is critical to achieving my dream of becoming a fiction author. And what he's saying here is that studying writing is important to my future professional plans, and I have lots to contribute to your university. So an outline is very short. It's thesis, 4 topic sentences. So in total, it's 5 sentences, and that's it. And that's the plan. That's the roadmap for the rest of the personal statement. You should spend 20 minutes now. Take that time to write out the outline of your personal statement. And again, it'll include the thesis, which should describe what you want to study in university and why. The first topic sentence, which is what you're telling us more about your interest in the course. The second topic sentence, which is you telling us about your academics and how they make you suitable for the course. The third topic sentence is telling us how your extracurriculars or work experience make you suitable for the course. And the last one is telling us how you'll contribute to your university environment, and ideally maybe mention your international background. And if you want, you can talk about your future aspirations, your professional aspirations. So spend the next 20 minutes to write these 5 sentences down, and then you'll have an outline. How do you go from an outline, which you've just written as part of the previous exercise, to a full and good personal statement? If I summarize the entire process that we're going through today, or at least the first part of it, you want to go from, how do you go from deciding what you want to study in university to having a full personal statement complete? Well, first you decide what course you want to study and write about as part of your personal statement. And then, as we've just done, you'll write your 1-sentence thesis that answers what you want to study in university and why. And then you're going to create the outline, which includes the thesis and then the topic sentence for each body paragraph. One topic sentence being on your passion for the subject, another one being how your academics demonstrate that passion, another topic sentence being how your extracurriculars or work experience demonstrate that passion, and finally, um, how you'll contribute to your environment, and perhaps how your academic passions will lend nicely to your professional aspirations. Once you've written the thesis and created the outline, you're basically done with planning the personal statement. And everything after that is writing the essay or the personal statement. So you'll first write the body paragraphs that support each of the topic sentences in your outline. Once you're done with those, you're going to write your opening paragraph. And once you're done with that, you're going to write your closing paragraph. I'm illustrating this whole process as sequential, and it is sequential. However, it's also an iterative process, meaning you might write your thesis and then create your outline and then decide you don't like your thesis. So you're going to rewrite your thesis and then rewrite your outline. You might finish the outline and start writing the body paragraphs and decide, you know what, I need to rework the outline. And that's fine. This process, this entire process could take a day. It could take a couple of months. So the timeline here I'm including is just a suggested timeline. It really depends on how much time you want to dedicate to this exercise. But keep in mind that it might take time for you to perfect each of these steps. So make sure you dedicate the right amount of time. When you're trying to go from the outline that you just created and to a good personal statement, there are a few different elements you need to be aware of. These are elements that admissions officers are judging your writing on, and they're judging your personal statement on. The first one is voice. You know, the admissions officers and the universities are going to have a lot of information about you through your transcripts and your standardized test scores and perhaps your CV or resume. But the personal statement is really the one opportunity where you get to have your voice heard. And so the question is, when I read your personal statement, is the writing personable? Can I hear your voice in the writing? Do I feel like there's someone who's speaking to me? The second element to keep in mind is clarity of thought. So how clearly are you delivering the messages in your personal statement? Are you clearly answering the question of what you want to study in university and why? Structure is another critical element. And we've spent a good amount of time in this session talking about structure. How structured is your writing? Is there a clear, identifiable thesis? Are there clear topic sentences? Is there an opening and a closing? Structure helps with voice and clarity of thought. The next element to discuss is content. So you have good structure, you have good voice. Are you providing good, meaty content in your personal statement? Are you going to the appropriate level of detail, using examples and short stories to prove your points? Those are important to make your writing relatable to whoever's reading your personal statement. You also want to think about writing flow. So does your writing flow well? Does it read smoothly? And is it pleasurable to read? Here, it's important to note that you want to make sure your language is plain. You want to make sure your sentence structures are not complex, that they're simple, because the plainer and simpler the languages, the more easy it is to read. And you don't want to get into too very fancy language or complex sentence structures, because it's just painful for an applicant, for an admissions officer to read. And then finally, grammar. This one is a must-have, which means you won't get any bonus points for having good grammar, but you'll lose lots of points for having poor grammar. So make sure you don't have any typos in the personal statement. Make sure there are no grammatical errors. And if you need to, ask someone to proofread the personal statement before you submit it. Ultimately, all of these elements will help you to convert your outline into a good personal statement, and will help the admissions officers and the universities to better know you and understand you and your passions. I wanted to go through a few final tips, words of wisdom that I've put together based on my experiences working with students who are applying to universities in the UK. First off, if you don't know what you want to do, who you are, or what you want to study, feel free to guess. Now, it doesn't mean that just, come up with something or fake something and run with it. What I mean is, you might be 50, you might be 16, 17, 18 years old. You don't necessarily know what you want to study in university, let alone what you want to do as a career. But maybe today you have a certain perspective of what you might want to study in university, and you should go with that. You don't want to write the personal statement just saying, hey, I'm 16 years old or 17 years old. I don't know what I want to do. No, feel free to write about a certain subject that you want to study. And if that changes in the future, once you're in university, that's fine. And universities understand that. But try to spend some time thinking about really what subjects interest you today and what specific subject you'd like to write about and study in university. Because this exercise of writing a personal statement is as much about convincing the universities to admit you as it is a personal reflection and an opportunity for you to think about what you want to do in university and in your career. Next point is don't underestimate your passions and be authentic. Here, what I'm trying to say is, if you're passionate about computer science because you love to play video games as a child, and that eventually turned into a passion for understanding how to build video games, that's great, and that's totally fine. Don't think that universities will look down upon that because you're talking about video games. The fact that it illustrates and demonstrates your passion for computer science is great. So long as it's authentic, then you should definitely write about that. That's just one example. Storytelling is more about the telling than the story. Plenty of students come up to me and say, hey, it's very easy to write a good personal statement or an essay when you've gone through a war, you've gone through like very difficult times, or you have this great skill set or experiences. But what if you just lived a plain old boring life? And I say, you know what? At the end of the day, it's everyone has stories, but it's really about how you tell the story. I could write a great story just around my daily morning habit of watering the plants in my backyard, which sounds really boring, but if I tell it in the right way, it can be really interesting. So don't underestimate your own life experiences, and don't underestimate the power of being able to tell a story really well to contribute to a good storytelling exercise. Focus, focus, focus. Make sure your personal statement is focused. Don't just write about random things. I want you to tell me what you want to study in university and why. And I want every part of the personal statement to support that focus, to answer that question. More isn't better, better is better. Plenty of students look at a blank sheet of paper or a blank Word document and freak out and just start writing with no plan in sight. And they think that so long as they can fill up the word count, they're fine. It's not about filling up the word count. It's about having purpose in every letter and word and sentence and paragraph in your personal statement. So don't try to just fill up the blank sheet. Try to really think about what words you want to use and what you're trying to say. So prioritize quality over quantity. Examples help, and so do anecdotes. I've mentioned this before in this session, but examples and anecdotes, short stories, they help to make your arguments and your writing and your personal statement relatable. It helps the readers who are the readers who are the admissions officers and the universities better understand what you're trying to say in your personal statement. Clear writing trumps fancy writing. Again, also mentioned earlier, don't try to use super fancy words or complex sentence structures to prove some sort of a point to the universities. Have clear and concise writing and make sure it's to the point. Don't brag too much in your personal statement. You have the rest of the application to do that. It's fine to talk about your achievements in the personal statement, as we saw with the example personal statement on the Stutter essay we looked at before. It's fine to talk about scoring in the top 10% of your class, that you've won awards. That's great, but don't feel like the entire personal statement is just an opportunity to brag or to try to convince the university that you're some invincible, perfect applicant. Nobody is. And as you saw in the Stutter personal statement, the applicant's talking about a really vulnerable time in his life where he struggled with a stutter. So the personal statement, yes, you can talk about your achievements and you should, but it shouldn't just be about bragging. It should be a full, comprehensive exercise in illustrating and demonstrating how and why you're well suited to study the course that you're interested in studying in university. Don't try to game the system. What I mean here is, if you're trying to position yourself as an applicant with a certain profile or an interest in a certain subject that's not really authentic, only because you think the university prefers those types of students, then I would ask you to reconsider whether that's the right university to apply to. Try to really be authentic about what you want to study and who you want to become, and which university would help you to do that, and therefore which ones to apply to. Finally, I want you to not panic. I want you to be patient, and I want you to trust the process. When you're looking at, again, at that blank sheet of paper or that blank Word document, I don't want you to panic, okay? There's a structured process that we've gone through that takes you from blank white sheet of paper to a very strong personal statement. It starts, again, with writing a good thesis answering what you want to study in university and why. And then you build out an outline, which is just a few sentences, a few topic sentences supporting your thesis. The first topic sentence talking more about how you developed a passion for the subject of interest. The second topic sentence going into how your academics show why you're suitable for studying that topic or that subject in university. The third topic sentence going into the extracurriculars, your extracurriculars and work experience and how they demonstrate your passion for the subject. And the fourth topic sentence talking about how either how you're going to contribute to the university's environment and or how studying the subject you're interested in contributes to your passion and what you want to do with your career after university. So with that, I wanted to thank you for your time today. We went over how to write, how to structure, outline, and write a good personal statement so that you can get into your choice of university in the UK. And at ReachUp, we're more than happy to help. So you can WhatsApp me at this phone number, or you can send me an email to mo@reachup.net. And you can always visit us at reachup.net and check out our website. And with that, I wanted to thank you, and I hope you have a good day and a successful application cycle.